with an update on major stars and more. This is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. The other day, MJF would join a show on X to talk about Adam Cole.
Ladies and gentlemen, MJF is here.
Yeah, here's the deal. Everyone shut up. I'm going to talk real fast because I'm on set.
Look at this profile picture, bro.
I said, shut the up. Here's the deal. Tomorrow night, Adam Cole is going to quote-unquote talk. Let me explain something to you. That motherfucker doesn't have anything interesting to say. It's disgusting. It's despicable that I had to listen to all those stupid fat marks in Tacoma cheer this guy who's an absolute worthless scumbag turned on me after I trust. But he's the good guy? Great. I'm going to beat the living shit out of this ass clown tomorrow. When you hear my music, just know pain's gonna come. Goodbye.
Touching on the relationship between CM Punk and Paul Heyman, Ringside News said during a recent interview on No Contest Wrestling with O'Shea Jackson Jr. and TJ Jefferson, Punk opened up about his early days working with Heyman in OVW and ECW, recounting how Heyman's mentorship shaped his understanding of the wrestling business, both inside and outside the ring. Punk, who joined WWE's developmental territory, OVW, when Heyman was put in charge, expressed his excitement at working under Heyman after previously being unable to learn from Jim Cornette. According to Punk, Heyman would arrive late on Tuesday nights and Punk would be right there, eager to soak up as much knowledge as possible. I learned how to format a show. I learned how to time out a show, have second in and out for commercials, Punk shared. The former WWE champion also revealed that Heyman would often bounce ideas off of him, and before Punk knew it, his ideas were being implemented on television. Despite this mentorship, Punk quickly realized that being associated with Heyman was a scarlet letter in WWE. He noted, "Me becoming a Paul Heyman guy was more of a scarlet letter than anything else. We don't like Punk, Heyman likes him, we hate him." Punk also reflected on how close he was to leaving WWE, stating, "There's an alternate universe out there where this did happen, where I took all the knowledge I learned in that short amount of time. I got fired and I went back to Ring of Honor." Giving his thoughts on his former WWE commentary partner Michael Cole, Jerry Lawler said, "This too Sportskeeda to wrestle binge. I'm surprised he's not in the Hall of Fame, but he's great. He was terrific. I can't tell you, they put me with a lot of different partners. First of all, JR. First, I was partners with Vince McMahon. I loved working with him. He was so good at what he did. Then from there, I went with JR, and he was just a natural, and he's still doing it with AEW. I do still talk to him. Then after JR, along came Michael, and he was just a natural too." Recalling his choke slam to Austin Theory at SummerSlam, Jelly Roll told Impulsive to shoot on it for a second because I haven't gotten to do this yet, and this is where I've been hoping I'd get to do it. Let's go. Austin Theory is a superhero. Yeah, he is a hero, is what he is. And I'm not in the business, so I don't gotta carry kayfabe. Dude made me look like a rock star. I love that dude and will forever, because he told me that whole night, he was like, "I got you, dog, trust me." And because I sat down with R-Truth and The Miz earlier in the night, and I said, "Look, y'all, if we do this right, we should have a top 3 viral moment." I was like, Roman's return, Logan's flip, our 5 knuckle shuffle and chokeslam. That should be the 3 moments. Yep, it was the 3 moments, by the way. Dead on. And I was like, if we pull this, and you know, something you'll appreciate about this. After Gunther would take shots at Goldberg during the Bad Blood event, this was said about WWE putting this match together, as Ringside News wrote that, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, there are no plans for a match between Gunther and Goldberg at Crown Jewel. Instead, Gunther is scheduled to compete against Cody Rhodes at the event, and this led to fans wondering if a match would even happen between them. During the live Q&A with Bill Apter and WrestleVotes, host Joe Lowry asked about WWE's plans for a potential match between Goldberg and Gunther, which was hinted at Bad Blood 2024. WrestleVotes noted that plans for the match were in place shortly before Bad Blood. Additionally, there may be an angle developed at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia, setting the stage for a match at Survivor Series, which will be part of the undercard. Speaking about NXT's The Metaphor potentially moving up to the WWE main roster, Ibu of WrestlePura said they're giving them the opportunity to just evaluate them. People officially in WWE like the charisma that the two have, specifically Lash Legend. Noam Dar is close to being cleared, and WWE thinks that Metaphor have main roster upside, and they're giving them a bit of a trial run. That's the Meta Girls in this case, because the thinking in the company is, of course, Noam Dar is a main roster level wrestler. Can the ladies hang on the main roster and look professional? And if they can, we'll just keep them up here. Otherwise, that's fine. We got a cool evaluation of them. They'll take some more time and reinstate the Metaphor in NXT for a little bit, and we'll circle back to this around draft season, if not later next year. That's kind of the situation with that. Talking about the difference between Jade Cargill and WWE and AEW, Bully Ray noted on Busted Open Radio, "I thought about this the other night. Here's my take on Jade. I think Jade was mentally more comfortable in AEW. There's, I think, a lot more pressure on her in WWE. The pressure of, she came over with what is it called? High expectations. Yes, she's doing well. She's got everything you need to have to become a megastar there. But when she moves, yes, I see her thinking." Going over the modern day WWE roster, The Undertaker said this on Booker T's Hall of Fame podcast. "It is completely two different worlds. It's crazy because never in a million years can I imagine how athletic these guys are today. And I think because they are, I mean, they're doing, I don't know if it was the video games they played as kids, but they're doing video game type stuff in the ring. And I think it's almost, sometimes it's a curse because they're so athletic and they rely so much on that aspect that they forget the most important aspect of what we do, which is storytell." And I think, I've mentioned it to different people high up, and it's like, hey, we can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, but I think at some point we're going to have to. We have to figure out a way to get it back in there, because these guys, I'm just thinking about their health, if nothing else, because I tell people this all the time and people look at me like I'm crazy, but in any given wrestling match, any match, at some point in that match, you're 2 inches away from something really catastrophic happening. Revealing details regarding his contract with TNA Wrestling, Sami Callihan told SP3 for True Heel Heat Wrestling, "I'll be there for the foreseeable future. We came to an agreement on a deal and I'm extremely happy working for TNA. I could see myself retiring at TNA one day and hopefully working behind the scenes. I love TNA Wrestling. As much as people talked about, oh, I want to go to Japan, I want to work for WWE. TNA was always on a pedestal to me, and being a part of that now is like a dream come true." During a live event match, Jey Uso would pay homage to The Rock with his own version of the People's Elbow. For an update on the AEW contract status of Britt Baker, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful wrote on X, Britt's contract is not expiring anytime soon. A referee could be seen trying to help Nia Jax out of the ring and ended up collapsing. Announcing Hall of Fame inductions, TNA Wrestling wrote on X, breaking, Rhino and Bob Ryder will be inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame countdown to Bound for Glory on October 26th from the Wayne State University Fieldhouse in Detroit, Michigan. Responding to a post that claimed Brian Pillman should be in the WWE Hall of Fame, his son and NXT star Lexis King said this on X, "Just speaking as Pillman Jr. here for a moment, this is all I ever wanted. My goal from day one in wrestling has always been to bring enough attention to the Pillman name, to remind us all of this legendary performer so that he could take his rightful spot in the Hall of Fame." At a recent live event, Randy Orton would send a message to Kevin Owens, who attacked him on SmackDown.
Hey Owens, once I get back to the States, once I get back across the pond, I'm coming for you, and I'm whipping your ass. You got one.
Following Bryan Danielson's loss of the AEW World title to Jon Moxley at the company's Wrestle Dream event last weekend, Ringside News said this regarding the future of the American Dragon. While speaking during the Fightful Weekly Q&A podcast, Sean Ross Sapp provided an update on Bryan Danielson's in-ring status following Wrestle Dream. Currently, there are no definite plans for Danielson to return to wrestling, but the door isn't closed, as his focus is on his family and addressing his neck issues. While he's expressed interest in returning in some form, the seriousness of his physical condition became clearer as he wrapped up his recent appearances. Despite this, AEW has continued to use full-time language about him on television. Prior to his match against Karrion Kross at WrestleMania 40, Bobby Lashley said this regarding the rivalry on The Bump. "I'm excited about this weekend because I get to fight. This whole year has kind of been, I've been handcuffed lately. I'm looking at the main event and there's 4 guys in the main event. I've beaten 3 of them. I'm throwing it out there, just saying. So I feel like I've been handcuffed a little bit. But this is my opportunity to go out there and beat up Kross and his boys. And then we're gonna look at bigger things afterwards." Karrion Kross would then respond to this on X, writing, "Handcuffed. How tight are the cuffs? I'm just curious, because some of us are so tightly handcuffed that if we even mention handcuffs, we're gone. You know what we do instead of crying about it publicly? We do our best to outperform the position delegated and break them. That's what it takes to hang with the best. I'm gonna smash this guy Sunday. He ain't the same anymore." Asked about rumored backstage issues with Lashley, Kross told Chris Van Vliet, "I hate that I'm saying this, but zero heat. It was a work. He knows I feel this way about him. It's not the first time I'm saying it, and unless you would have asked me about this, I would have never said it. I love that dude to death. After the match, I wanted to tell him afterwards so he didn't think I was trying to butter him up before we went out. I told him after the match was done, expressed how much I love him, how much I've looked up to him, what an honor it was to work with him. I remember when WWE brought ECW back. People can say whatever they want about it. I thought his section of being being ECW champion was great. I loved it. I was a bit of an ECW snob growing up. I was like, oh, ECW originals. I didn't care. He's awesome. He looks like the Hulk, and he's diving out of the ring and doing crazy stuff. He's putting people through tables and stuff. And then for me personally, fast forward now, I'm working Mania with him. I told him all that at the end of the match. Previously, this was said regarding Kevin Owens' contract status with WWE. During an interview with Metro UK back in May, Owens revealed that his current deal is set to expire in the early part of next year. He tells the Takedown on SI that the only change in his contract status since then is that there's now less time on his deal. Now, WrestleVotes has added this on the Backstage Pass Q&A. I did reach out, talk to a couple of people, didn't get a definite one way or the other, didn't get an absolutely the deal's been signed, but did get a really positive response that it's very close if not completed with a handshake, so I'd imagine that he's around for the long term. Going over the WWE status of Brock Lesnar, Ringside News wrote that Brock Lesnar has not appeared on WWE TV since his match against Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam 2023. There has been speculation about his potential return, particularly due to his alleged ties to Vince McMahon's trafficking lawsuit, which led to WWE removing him from all creative plans. Despite this, he was referenced on this week's episode of Raw, and there were rumors about him being in talks for a comeback. However, we now have clarification regarding his status. If you did not know, Brock Lesnar was referenced during the October 14th episode of Monday Night Raw. This happened twice as both Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes referenced beating a beast, which was Brock Lesnar. These references led to the Beast incarnate trending on social media and made fans wonder if he would return to WWE again. WrestleVotes reported on Brock Lesnar's status in WWE during a live Q&A with Bill Apter on Backstage Pass. They indicated that there is a strong possibility of Lesnar returning to WWE. When asked about his comeback, WrestleVotes replied with a straightforward yes. They also mentioned that sources within WWE have confirmed ongoing discussions between Lesnar and the company. I'll give you a short answer, yes. However, Fightful Select reports that there are currently no plans for his return to WWE, as confirmed by sources within the company. Rumors surfaced on October 15th that WWE was in talks with Lesnar about a comeback, but high-level sources denied this, stating that there are no creative plans for him at this time. There are no creative plans in place for Lesnar, and if conversations have occurred, we've not been briefed on that. WWE took considerable measures to remove Lesnar from WWE 2K24, limiting his inclusion to a few game modes. His merchandise has been reduced in price, and there have been no new products featuring him. A WWE executive had previously contacted Fightful to clarify that Lesnar was not expected to return anytime soon, despite other outlets speculating otherwise. Furthermore, Lesnar was among a few names that WWE is asked to avoid mentioning in recent months. He hasn't been referenced in video games, promos, or commentary unless absolutely necessary. Recently, Cody Rhodes did mention Lesnar by nickname in a WWE Raw promo, but those close to Rhodes have not heard of any status change regarding Lesnar. Despite Triple H's comments suggesting Lesnar could return, he has not been involved in any creative plans for a long time. Sources from the creative team noted that they hadn't received updates about Lesnar in months and expressed surprise if he were to return during an ongoing federal investigation. Dave Meltzer previously reported that legal hurdles have prevented Brock Lesnar from returning to WWE television. Therefore, it appears that fans should temper their expectations when it comes to the Beast Incarnate's return, as it appears unlikely he will be returning to WWE anytime soon, if at all. When it comes to plans for CM Punk at Survivor Series on November 30th, Ibu of WrestlePure said CM Punk is facing Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.